Today I fucked up by telling my coworkers how to make a shiv. I got hired for a new job recently. It's a bit of a dream job, working as a behavioral health tech at a psychiatrist hospital. I'm going to college for a major in social work and a minor psychology later this year, so this job is kinda perfect, especially since they have a program that will help pay for my college. The benefits are fantastic, pay is good, hours are great, and the best part of all, it's a hospital that has a reputation for legitimately trying to help their patients, often discounting costs of stays and helping people have stable support when they are discharged so they can help more of the community. I spent a lot of my childhood and teen years in the troubled teen industry. I have severe ADHD and depression, so seeing a facility that treats their patients like people and legitimately care was so nice. Yesterday was my first day, and I went in super early for a very long day of training. I was in a class with 2 other people, a behavioral health tech like me, and a registered nurse. Throughout the day, we met all the department heads as well as the CEO and CFO, who were all very nice and very passionate about their work. During our training, our trainer brought out a box of contraband items that were collected at this hospital over the years, to show us examples of the creativity people will go to harm themselves or others, and why searches are so important. It seemed like a lot of fairly standard contraband, a vape, broken tiles, a razor, etc. Then she pulled out 3 different shivs and showed us while saying she had no clue how 2 of them were even made, as 2 were these makeshift shivs, made from multiple items. Without thinking, I tell the trainer how one of the shivs was made, not gonna detail how cause I don't wanna give someone a blueprint here, and tell her how to confirm what I said was true, which she does. At this point I'm mortified, cause I just kinda word vomited that out to her, and now everyone is staring at me. I'm thinking I'm about to be fired on my first day, and I continue to word vomit, and say, I'm not a murderer, I just spent some time in psychiatric hospital growing up, and then doubled down by explaining how the other shiv was made in my panic. At this point, I'm mortified but still babbling about how to sneak in contraband. My 2 new coworkers are staring at me in surprise, and the training is gaping at me in shock. It took a few minutes, but she didn't fire me on the spot. She actually says me having this history in the system and knowing this stuff is very useful, but I'm still mortified cause I've basically dropped my mental health history and made myself seem like I make improvised weapons all the time, which is super embarrassing. Too long did not read. I explained to my new coworkers how a shiv was made, then continued to word vomit. Based on your description, I think you have demonstrated exactly why you're right for the job, with relevant knowledge and experience to help others. I wouldn't give the whole thing a second thought. You just showed you're an absolute expert on stuff they have no clue about. That's of vital importance to the facility and the team. Now you just have to work on your presentation TED Talk this shit next time. The ADHD impulse to info dump turned up to 11, with a bit of rejection sensitivity mixed in for good measure. Congratulations on the job. Dude, you're fine. The best person to have for the job is someone who has been in the situation before. You have first-hand knowledge about what the people in your care go through. Reminds me of Christopher Lee correcting Peter Jackson during the filming of Lord of the Rings about the sound a man makes when he's stabbed in the back. Opening square bracket. Today I fucked up by using funny naming conventions in my code. TIFU itself happened some months ago. Repercussions came in today. I'm a college senior desperately looking for programming jobs in my area. It's been a grueling process with rejection after rejection and dozens of intense interviews. As part of my resume, I have included a coding project I worked on last summer, a card game written in Python. I worked on it alone with no professional supervision, and I definitely did not think too much about notes written for myself. Last month, it seemed I had gotten somewhere with a company which asked me to come back for a second interview, the last one before they chose to accept or reject me. I sent them my resume and game code and got ready for the interview. Overall it went well. I was able to answer just about every question they threw at me related to programming. One interviewer gave me a challenge question related to bit shifting and I was able to answer it, which he congratulated me on. At the end of the interview they told me I would receive their decision within 2 weeks. I was excited and thought that I had finally gotten a job lined up for after college. Less than 3 days later I received a rejection email. I was beyond frustrated and had no idea what I had done wrong. The next day I sent an email to the head interviewer asking her what she found wrong in the interview so that I could avoid making the same mistake later. Here is the response email I received today, paraphrased. Hi you, 40th Atom 4. Thanks for reaching out and I'm really glad that you asked for feedback. I'm going to be totally honest with you when I tell you that we found some of the naming conventions and comments in your code offensive and unprofessional for an interview setting, and we were unable to get past your lack of attention to detail and judgment. It's unfortunate because other than that you demonstrated strong technical knowledge and communication skills. I know this is probably disappointing for you to hear, but hopefully you won't make this same mistake in future interviews. Thanks. Interviewer, sweating. I went and checked on the card game code. It turns out that I had named all of my turn-taking variables different versions of the word penis. All of them. As in, every single time a player takes a turn, the program uses penis to denote that turn. And I had just shown that to a group of professional programmers. There goes my chances at a job. Too long did not read. Programmed a card game, used the word penis for a bunch of variable strings, and promptly forgot about them. Tried to use that code for a job interview. They noticed. I got rejected immediately. I can only imagine if players themselves were using that naming convention. Whose penis is it now? Oh, it's my penis. Years ago, I worked with a developer who inevitably used fish as a medicine tactical placeholder value. Tester, performing final checks before production. I just got an undeclared fish error? Us. David. Did this with a data analyst a couple of years ago in SQL. We ended up with a bunch of silly table names, like Doomed Wiener and Wiener Join. It was not a fun conversation with the team we wrote it for. Genuine fuck-up in this thread. It's good that they responded. You should write back to them, apologize and accept that you were immature at the time and should have been more considerate in how you will take this opportunity to grow. Don't expect to get any replies back. You have the skills and will eventually land a job. Wish you the best. Tester here. This is one reason why after a while in the job a wise tester uses really boring names for their test data. Today I fucked up selling my iPhone 14 Pro Max on Facebook Marketplace. Yes, I know. You know already where this story is going. But I am going to tell it anyway, in the hope that at least one person doesn't go through what I went through. It actually did happen today. Several days ago, I listed a new, sealed iPhone 14 Pro Max on Facebook Marketplace, after the reactions on local platforms were a little lower than I'd liked. I got several responses, mostly people trying to buy it for very low prices. However, I'm not about to be scammed, so I don't engage with them. I'm not stupid. Then a dude messages me who is willing to buy this item, and 2 other items because he has a shop with IT materials and he needs some stock. In the end he only needs the iPhone, but that's fine for me. I'm happy he's willing to buy it for asking price, 1600 €. It's 17.99 €. New. So we set up the delivery meet. He sends me an address on Monday, and since I'm a good guy the first offer to deliver the phone to him, it's only a 45 minute drive. All communication is professional and smooth. He only has time on Wednesday though, but that's okay. I had surgery last week, so in the end my wife is the one who is going to be driving up to him. The meeting is set for 10 a.m., at the address he gave us. I am communicating with him via Facebook, my wife is driving to him. While she is driving there, I get a message from him that because of the snow, it is actually snowing. Some trains weren't operational, so he asks to meet in the station he is going to, instead of the address he gave us. He was coming or going back from work, to his home to do the exchange. I inform my wife, and she goes to the train station. I ask him a cell phone number so my wife can call him when she gets there, and I provide my wife's number to him. I am communicating between them, but they are unable to reach each other. My wife is saying the number doesn't connect, and he is saying she isn't picking up the phone. Somehow, I manage to get them find each other. My wife offers to drive him to his house, the address he gave us, and do the exchange there. He agrees and they go there. They are able to do the exchange. My wife is a prudent woman, and sends me a screenshot from his bank app on his phone showing the transfer for 1,600 €, and asks me if it is okay. From the comfort of my home, I assess the situation and ask her if the transaction completed. She is a little worried because the transaction is not instant in the account, but that is because the amount is too big. Either way, we decide that it's okay and hand over the device. This is approximately where the panic sets in. My wife calls me a few minutes later to get a location on the guy, because she isn't sure that the payment went through. On her bank app, the transaction is not listed as future incoming, as she would expect, and now that she looks closely on the screenshot, It's not a true transaction but more something like a internal booking. I take a look at the screenshot, and notice the IBAN bank number to be B0871810123456789. This is the moment where I realize it's over and we got scammed. I try to call him, but, same as when my wife tried, can't connect to him. Panic sets in, because I realize I have no way to contact him other than Facebook Messenger. I ask my wife if they went in his house, but according to her it was his mom's house, and he didn't have a key. Oops. He actually does respond on Facebook Messenger a little more, promising me that he will call me, but of course he doesn't. I ask if he is still in the neighborhood and he says he is, but in a different train station now, and he can meet if my wife wants to drive there. My wife is still hoping to fix the situation, so she wants to drive there. Meanwhile, the guy's phone is only at 2%, surprise, and so he stops responding to me. This is the point where I am defeated and ask my wife to come home, 45 Moline Drive, valuing her safety over a stupid phone. My wife is of course devastated and can't believe this happened to us. Looking back, as I'm sure you must be thinking, we ignored a lot of red flags. First of all, he didn't negotiate on price at all. He was happy with my asking price of €1,600, while all other bidders at least tried to get the price down. He was also really happy I offered to bring it to him. He even asked if I wanted extra for that, and I told him it was okay. He was paying asking price after all, and not a hassle to deal with at first. Second of all, I should have noticed something when his phone number didn't work. Or at least talk to him first on the phone, before sending my wife on a 45 Moline Drive. Additionally, I should have been alarmed when he wanted to change the location last minute. At that point I was a little too glad that we would be coming to him. I don't want to give out my address to people. So now we are left here with no way to contact him, down a phone, worth easily €1,500, without any way to recover it. Too long did not read. Tried to sell phone on Facebook Marketplace. Wasn't about to be scammed. Got scammed. I think the most disturbing part was your wife giving this guy a ride home. You should be happy this didn't end a whole lot worse than just losing your phone. Contact local police. The train station has cameras and he can be identified. Not gonna lie. Letting your wife drive a complete stranger home seems like a bigger fuck up than being scammed for a fucking iPhone. Cash only bro. Makes life 10x easier. Only 16 notes fam. Less than a pinky thick in it? Did you document any serial number or IMEI for the device?